Hello, Blue Nation. Mark Pope on Louisville's return to prominence. It's good for college basketball, and it's good for us. So Louisville is approved by Pope? Well, I don't think so. But let's get to the news. In the heat of sports rivalries, it's easy to lose sight of what really matters, strengthening the game as a whole. In college basketball, few matches carry as much historical and emotional weight as Kentucky versus Louisville. A rivalry marked by decades of intensity, passion, and that healthy debate that makes games vibrate on the court. But perhaps it's time to rethink this visceral narrative, at least when it comes to the perspective of Mark Pope. The coach of the Kentucky Wildcats, Pope, with his quiet and pragmatic wisdom, brought a new perspective to the debate about Louisville's role on the national stage. Rather than fuel the fire of gratuitous debate, he chose to highlight something broader and more significant. Louisville's return to competition is not only good for the city of Louisville, but also for college basketball as a whole. And, surprisingly, even for Kentucky. This refreshing approach not only humanizes the often overly aggressive side of sports rivalries, but also highlights the positive impact a strong program can have on the sports ecosystem when Pope states that it's good for college basketball. And it's good for us. He's not just being polite or diplomatic. He's recognizing something fundamental. The strength of an opponent raises the level of competition and, consequently, the quality of the team itself. When Louisville was in a slump in recent years, the luster of this rivalry lost some of its luster. Now, with Pat Kelsey leading the Cardinals and both teams projected as potential Final Four contenders this season, there's a unique opportunity to revitalize this storied tradition, the friendly tone between Pope and Kelsey. Two coaches who clearly have mutual respect. Adds another interesting layer to the narrative. Unlike the John Calipari and Rick Pitino eras, known for their sharp exchanges and palpable tensions, the current dynamic appears to be more collaborative without losing the fierce essence of the rivalry. Pope admitted he tried to dislike Kelsey, but simply couldn't, and vice versa. This doesn't mean the intensity of the games will be less. On the contrary, mutual respect can result in even more strategic and exciting duels. As both sides seek to outdo the other with intelligence and grit, Pope's comparison to iconic franchises like the New York Knicks or the North Carolina Tar Heels is particularly revealing. When giant programs are in decline, the sport loses some of its charm. But when they return to the top, something different happens. This was the case in the NBA last season when the Knicks rekindled their fans' emotions and brought the arenas to life. This is exactly what Pope sees in Louisville's rebirth. A strong team not only attracts local attention, but also reinforces college basketball's national relevance, increasing overall interest and raising the quality of matches, and Kentucky, of course, is no exception. With Pope at the helm, the Wildcats remain an undisputed powerhouse. Their ability to attract elite talent, combined with a modern and adaptable playing philosophy, keeps Kentucky consistently among the favorites. The matchup against Louisville promises to be a turning point in the season, especially with the schedule pointing to an early matchup on December 14th. If the last matchup is any Gita 93-85 Kentucky victory, we can expect a game full of decisive moments, sharpshooting, and relentless defense. Furthermore, Pope sees this collective recovery as part of a larger phenomenon. He mentions Indiana, North Carolina, and Virginia as examples of programs that are also returning to the top. This simultaneous renaissance of traditional brands has the potential to make next season one of the most exciting in recent college basketball history. And, of course, we can't ignore the role of the SEC, which last year established itself as an incredibly competitive league with weekly playoff-worthy matchups. When the best face the best, the sport evolves. It's in this context that November 11th takes on a special meaning. The KFC Yum Center will host an unmissable event where fans from both sides will pack the stands, eager to see which team will come out on top. For Pope, this kind of reinvigoration, what he calls a heartland revival, is exactly what college basketball needs. Speaking of Jalen Lowe, the junior point guard who is preparing to take on a central role in Kentucky basketball under Pope, the excitement surrounding Lowe isn't just a reflection of the natural anticipation that accompanies any athlete joining the Wildcats program. It's fueled by consistent praise and compelling testimonials from his teammates and sports experts. This offseason, the player has been described as an imminent force, someone whose impact could transcend numbers and redefine the role of a point guard in elite college basketball. The latest to contribute to this wave of recognition is Otega Away, Lowe's teammate and one of the key players in Mark Pope's project this season. During an interview with the Field of 68, Away didn't mince words when highlighting his new teammate's qualities. "To be honest, I would say Jalen Lowe," Away stated when asked who impressed him most among the newcomers this offseason. "He's a point guard. He's going to step on the floor and lead the team." These statements convey a growing sentiment within the program. Lowe is not only a talented player, but a natural leader capable of guiding a young, ambitious group to new heights. Away's admiration for Lowe isn't unfounded. The Texas point guard arrived at Kentucky with an already respectable resume, built during his time at Pitt, where he was selected to the third-team All-ACC his freshman season, averaging impressive 16.8 points, 5.5 assists, and 4.2 rebounds per game. Lowe demonstrated early on that he possesses the necessary arsenal to thrive in college basketball. However, what's most striking now is the evolution he displayed during the offseason. As Away noted, Lowe worked tirelessly to improve crucial aspects of his game, such as defense, toughness, and physicality, areas he himself said needed improvement after his first season at Pitt. The results of this effort have been visible in practice, where Lowe has dominated one-on-one matchups and demonstrated renewed aggression. Mark Pope, the architect of this promising project, has been one of Lowe's biggest advocates. The Wildcats coach has publicly stated that he expects the point guard to make a huge leap this season, a prediction that gains even more weight when considering the environment Pope has built in Lexington. Under his leadership, Kentucky has sought to maximize the potential of its players, creating a system that values both individual and collective talent. Lowe, with his unique ability to score and distribute the ball, seems to be the perfect fit to execute this vision. As ESPN's Jay Bilas noted, "People will quickly realize he has a special skill. And if there's one thing college basketball has learned over the years, it's that when a player receives praise of this magnitude, it's best to pay attention." But what exactly defines Jalen Lowe's style of play? His versatility is perhaps his greatest asset. He's not the physical prototype of a dominant point guard, but he makes up for it with game intelligence, instinct, and an unwavering work ethic. Lowe is equally effective when attacking the basket or finding pinpoint passes for his teammates, making him a nightmare for opposing defenses. Furthermore, his improvements in the aforementioned areas such as defense and shooting consistency suggest he's ready to face the challenges of playing in a conference as competitive as the SEC. Another point worth highlighting is Lowe's mindset. In an interview with the Field of 68, he expressed a quiet but firm confidence in his abilities. "I have confidence in myself. My coaches have immense confidence in me. My teammates do too," he said. "I believe that will only grow." This attitude reflects not only his self-confidence, but also the positive environment Pope has cultivated in the locker room. The synergy between Lowe and his teammates, especially with Away, could be the difference that leads Kentucky to victories. Of course, expectations are high, and Lowe knows it. But unlike many players who succumb to the pressure, he seems to embrace it. For him, this season represents an opportunity to show the world what few have realized, that he is. In the words of CBS Sports' John Rothstein, the best point guard in college basketball that few people really know. Let's take a closer look. Kentucky basketball is experiencing cautious optimism amid the recovery of Jaden Quaintance, one of the most promising players on Mark Pope's roster. Although the big man hasn't yet participated in 5-on-5 drills, his presence in individual workouts is already making an impact and indicates that his ACL rehabilitation is progressing exceptionally well. During the live broadcast of the Field of 68, he was seen shooting free throws and passing. Clear signs that his physical progress is remarkable even without full court contact. Mark Pope, always pragmatic and detail-oriented, avoided setting an exact timetable for Quaintance's return, but was full of praise for the player's progress. Currently 5.5 months into his recovery, Quaintance has posted impressive numbers in his rehabilitation. The strength asymmetry between his legs, which initially reached 46 to 49%, has been reduced to just 3%. For comparison purposes, this measurement indicates that his strength is about 20% above the average for an NBA player of similar size and weight. This improvement not only confirms the athlete's commitment, but also highlights the quality of the rehabilitation program implemented by Kentucky. For those unfamiliar with the term, strength asymmetry measures the difference in power between the legs. In Quaintance's case, the injured leg has virtually matched the strength of the healthy leg, eliminating one of the biggest concerns in recovering from serious injuries. Despite this progress, Pope reinforces the need for caution, although he's surpassing the standards faster than we humanly imagined. We'll still be smart because he has an incredible future in this sport. The coach's approach is clear. Maximize the player's development without compromising his physical integrity, essential to maintaining a high-level career. In addition to muscular balance, Quaintance has shown impressive physical gains during his rehabilitation. With 2 inches taller and an additional 40 pounds of body mass, he shows signs of an athletic transformation that could further elevate his presence on the court. Recent videos show the athlete working hard in the weight room, running, jumping, and squatting, demonstrating not only commitment but also tangible progress that excites the coaching staff and fans, while a full return to the court for the start of the season in November remains uncertain. Estimates indicate that Quaintance could return in December. For Pope, this wait is part of a thoughtful strategy to protect a rare talent and ensure that, when ready, the player can contribute his characteristic strength, explosiveness, and physical presence. This balanced approach between ambition and caution reinforces the culture of excellence the coach has built in Lexington, keeping the Wildcats competitive while focusing on the individual development of his stars. His rapid recovery, combined with impressive physical and athletic gains, points to a bright future under Mark Pope's supervision. The team's caution does not dampen enthusiasm. On the contrary, it reinforces the commitment to the athlete's health and to building a squad prepared for the challenges of the 2025-26 season. Big challenges for a big team. Leave your comments.